So you're a shear sharpener. Your customers are happy. You're happy with your work. But what does it look like if someone else looks at your work and compares it to a standard? That's what we're going to do today. This is the International Scissor Sharpeners Association evaluation. And our company will send out a couple of shears that are damaged, reasonable damage, some nicks, a questionnaire that you answer some questions on it. And we're looking to see whether you can convex a convex, bevel a bevel, and if they cut, if they're sharp and they're cut. So we're going to look at these today. You're going to look at them with me, and we'll see if this person who is out in the field sharpening, if their sharpening measures up to the sharpening of other people who have certified with the International Scissor Sharpeners Association. In case you're wondering, I'm Bonnie McGowan. Our company's Shears, and this ISSA was started when someone I trained that was from Cyprus said, I need more credentials going back. And we dreamed up the International Scissor Sharpeners Association with a lifetime membership, cool-looking ID cards, cool-looking certificate and logo. And now we've got merch. We've got T-shirts and things like that, hats with the ISSA logo. And as time went along, we were wanting to have some sort of criteria if we were going to recommend somebody for sharpening, that we wanted to know, does this person know, the basics of sharpening? Now, this isn't advanced. I wouldn't even really call it master sharpening. I would call it basic knowledge of sharpening for the beauty and somewhat on the grooming industry. So we're going to look at these shears and see if this person, they already have a lifetime membership, but let's see if they get certified. Here's some space here. So these came in this nice little purple envelope. And I don't tell you the name, but we do have a number, which is 318723. And there is a knowledge test. And nobody fails because they failed a knowledge test. But the knowledge test will tell me whether, if this person does fail, maybe there's an area that they're not aware of, that they're not knowledgeable on. If you watch my videos, I have 700-800, I guess, on my other channel, Shears. You would know the answers to these. Or if you've read my book, my new book that's out, I'm Mastering Shear Sharpening, you would definitely know the answer. So I see one that I'm going to mark as wrong. Let's see if there's another one. Okay, 3 that are wrong. So let's go over his sharpening, and then we're going to come back to what would be the correct answers on these 3 questions that he or she missed. I say he, and I guess I'm showing my bias. It's just that most of the people that are sharpeners are men. Do I think men make the best sharpeners? No. But a lot of times men have been doing carpentry work, repair work, mechanic work, and sharpening may come easier to them than with just the skill background levels. So here's the 2 shears I get. This one's a beveled edge. This one is a convex, but it actually comes to them with a little micro bevel on it. The company that makes it both of these are brand new shears. And the company that makes it always puts a micro bevel on it. And I'm looking to see whether you can take that little micro bevel out and sharpen as a true convex. So my first thing is I'm going to look at them and see if they look convex or bevel. And my magnifier light, usually I can tell by just my eyeballs, but okay, he left the serration on here, which is good, which was a good thing. And these are definitely beveled. I don't see anything that jumps out as wonky. And the inside's a little bit scratched up. But it looks, overall this one looks good. We'll see how it cuts. So let's see if he's convex this one. This one still has a true bevel on it. I'm going to let you look at it. When I open it up. Do you see that flat area? Let me show you what a true convex would look like. So this is a true convex. This is one of our Jazzy shears. And when I roll it, can you see it sort of rolls to nothing? Okay, so the one in front is a true convex. You see how that edge disappears to nothing? This one in the back, see, has a micro bevel on it. I wanted this shear to have a true convex. So I'm not going to call this a convex edge shear because it definitely, you see that flat area there? It's definitely a bevel. I know some people that are excellent sharpeners and they put a micro bevel on everything. Their customers are happy. But I'm looking for people that are able to put a true convex back on a shear. And that's the skill that I'm looking for. So I've got this cheap toilet paper. It's like the Atlanta airport toilet paper. This is their beveled edge. I'm going to try it dry and then wet. And my thumb is out. Slow catches things, fast doesn't catch. Did you see how it pulled? That would pull hair. Close. And that cut nice. Let's see how they cut wet. No, that tip definitely pulls. See that? Oh, it cut good that time. Well, just certain ways it's turned. Now it's cutting good. Kind of hit or miss, isn't it? Kind of weird. And it does pull a little bit at the tip. You see that? I think he could do better. This is good. His customers are probably happy with him. But I think he can do better. Let's see how they cut hair, okay? I think I felt a pull there. They got hair nice. They're not pulling the hair. See how the bevel edge feels. Oh, no, did you see that? So it was folding the hair. So we're going to look at it a little closer, and then we're going to look at the questions that we missed and see if those things that he missed have influence on this. So this one definitely pulled at the tip. What I would have done is round it off the tip and taken a little bit off of there. That tip is really scratchy, and I think if he'd shortened it by 1 millimeter, it wouldn't have pulled at the tip. Also, what I'm wondering, I know these shears are plenty tight enough, but when you have these little plastic handle shears, sometimes just a little, that screwdriver's too big, just a little bit of tightening will fix the problem. Okay, I tightened it a little bit more. Now it doesn't fall. Let's see if that fixed that problem. No, it's still folding. Why is it folding? Oh, I know why. So when I feel it with my thumb, it feels nice and sharp back here. When I get up here, it just doesn't feel sharp. It doesn't catch on my thumb. I don't know if he didn't do a consistent angle all the way down. Oh man, this thing is getting dirty. I need to clean this out. Somehow I got water up in my lens. There we go. The angle is inconsistent. I'm going to let you see this. I think you can see this. You see that angle there? As I pull it across, and I'm trying to pull it straight, that angle sort of changes. So it's a sharper angle back in the back, and at the tip it's blunter. So I think you could definitely do better on this one. I think the reason it's not cutting is just not a sharp enough edge. One of the ways you can see this is if you've got like a plastic pen or like our edge marker, and I'm pushing, get that tag out of the way, I'm pushing against the plastic. Watch this. And this is something you can do to test a shear too. So I'm pushing against the plastic and it's catching in the plastic. Kind of the same pressure as I go down. And then when I get here, you see it just slides across. So let's look at the answers that he got wrong and see if that relates to the sharpening. So the first one is, what is the optimum angle for a convex shear to cut sharp without pushing? He put down 40 degrees. 40 degrees is probably a stronger edge, but 45 is the go-to number for a convex to be sharp and not pushing. Just the geometry of it. Now he probably sharpened this one at 40, and if you're doing convex edge shears for, let's say, a dog groomer or someone doesn't slide cut or they just do straight cutting, 40 is going to give you a stronger edge, but it won't be the optimum between sharp and strong. So that was question number 4 that he missed. Number 9, if the tip pulls tissue, and both of these pull tissue, what problem would be the easiest to fix? He put bad alignment. No, that's going to be the hardest. Burr never established? Could be. No rod line? Could be. But burr not removed would be the easiest. Let's see if that was his problem on this. I'm going to feel and see if there's a burr on the outside or the inside. And the way I feel for a burr is I take my fingernail and kind of catch it. Yeah, I think I feel a little bit of a burr on the serrated. And the serrated side, even though you're not going to sharpen it and take it off, you might want to go over it with your ceramic stone, your pink stone, and just make sure there's no burrs there. I'm going to check this one and see if I can tell why that one pulled hair. I'm not seeing any reason for it to pull hair. Oh yeah, I am seeing something. Look right here on that tip. You see? like a 1/2 millimeter, and that's the part that was pulling hair. You got to be careful of those teeny tiny things. And the last one was cutting wet tissue that tears or is ragged when cut most likely indicates the following. And he said the edge is rounded off and not sharp. You can have a super rounded off edge, almost like butter knife blades on your shears, and it'll cut through that wet tissue fine. The wet tissue is not to test how sharp the shears are. The wet tissue is to tell you if all the burrs and nicks are gone. So the correct answer would be D, which is B and C. Burrs left and nicks are left. Wet tissue only tells you if you've got a consistent edge. It doesn't tell you if they are really, really sharp. Let me see if I can find you an example of that. So these are some really, really, really cheap scissors. Really blunt edge. And they might cut wet tissue. You see? This cuts wet tissue. Not real clean, but it does cut. And these have like no edge on them. So when you're testing your shears on the wet tissue, just because it cuts wet tissue doesn't mean it's going to be a sharp edge and it's going to cut hair well. It just tells you if it doesn't cut wet tissue, it's not likely to cut hair. If you set a good angle and you know you got a consistent angle, the wet tissue tells you if you took off enough metal to remove the nicks and if you've gone back and removed any burrs. Hope this was helpful. This person came really close and he's doing a good enough job. I'm sure his customers are happy. So, I mean, don't feel like, oh no, I got to stop sharpening. I'm hoping that he'll want to pay the postage to send them back and try it again because it's worth it to be able to improve yourself. And I hope the information I gave him will be helpful to him and to you. What about you? Your customers happy? You think you can stand up to a little extra scrutiny? Oh, there's some links below if you want to do the ISSA certification. So what's your thoughts about the International Scissor Sharpeners Association? Is this ISSA certification, is it a walk in the park or is it a little more difficult? Let's see what you can do. If you want to be certified, if you want to join the ISSA, it's for those that are certified. It's more than just a piece of paper. It's more than just an ID card. So links below is going to tell you how to be a part of the ISSA and also to get your swag and your merchandise. If you're ready to take your sharpening skills to the next level, I've got you covered. Whether it's a certification or upgrading your equipment or getting some more sharpening training. That's what we're about. So call the red-headed sharpening lady, Bonnie at Bonica Shears. And remember, stay sharp, my friends.